Hey everybody and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the new episode of the Kardashians. That's season 3, episode 8. And the title of this episode is I have some very important news. So the first scene of this episode is Scott going over to Kris's house. Kris, by the way, is wearing this large coat in the colors of the Burger King Whopper. I'm not even kidding, but I thought that was funny. But they are talking about a bar mitzvah that Mason is going to be having. Mason, of course, is Kris's first grandchild, so they are both talking about the planning that they're going to be doing. And then she also tells him that, by the way, I'm 40 according to the scan that I got. And then he asks, are you going to retire soon? Have you thought about that? And she says, nope. Moving along, we go to Khloe's house and we finally see some of Rob. Well, not necessarily, but she FaceTimes him because she's helping him plan Dream's birthday party. Dream, of course, is Rob and Blac Chyna's daughter. Khloe says that she is very close with Rob. She's probably the closest out of all the sisters. And then she throws some shade. She says, I don't speak to the mother of Dream because it's not really easy to speak to someone who sued you for millions and millions of dollars. I was like, damn, I get that. But then again, Blac Chyna lost the case, so they should just get over it. But the next scene is Kris, Kourtney, and Khloe. They're having some lunch, but they start to talk about a little project that they have planned, a Christmas album. They have a vocal coach come over, and then Kim joins eventually. And they do some vocal exercises, which if you have ever seen how vocal exercises are, they're crazy and loud, and you have to do all these weird noises. But this particular group of people, this family, they like to talk in a very plain voice. Their tone is it's weird. So they struggle a little bit, especially Kim. But they do them. And just seeing the Kardashians take vocal exercises and doing all these weird noises was hilarious. Mainly because they were so uncomfortable doing it. Then Kim steps out to call Babyface to tell them about this little project that they're doing because she wants his help, but he wants just him to help her so that it'll be like a surprise. And then when she hangs up, she goes back to the other room with everyone else. But then it turns out that Kris was also calling Babyface for the exact same reason. And so once Kim walks in and she's like, oh shoot, I hope that he doesn't out me, that I also called him, but he didn't. Okay, it's then another day. It's nighttime, and we're headed to this really nice looking restaurant. I'm glad they said the name of it. It's Casa Vega, because it looked really good. But they're having dinner. It's Kim, Khloe, and Scott, and they talk about some of the rumors that they are constantly spreading about the family. One of the most recent ones was that they thought that they had a CGI tear on Kim, which I wouldn't be surprised if it really was fake, if it was CGI. Of course, they're saying that it's not, but it's funny because then they go to Google to start looking up all the fake things that they make about them. Like they have fake fingers, fake this, fake that. And then they talk about one that I think I've actually heard before, that the Kardashians are actually witches who curse men. And Khloe pulls up some TikTok video about someone saying that there used to be a witch in Armenia who they are related to. I thought it was kind of funny, but then Khloe says, well, that's pretty sexist. And they say that they wish that some of the men who have been involved would come more to their defense. And speaking of men, Tristan called Kim to let her know that he's looking for a house. And then Scott takes the opportunity to ask Khloe, would you ever give him a chance? She says, I have no problems with him, but no more chances. The next scene is the whole gang going into the studio ready for these Christmas songs. I gotta say, seeing all the Christmas decorations and the songs, I can't wait for Christmas, but it's barely July. And before they start, they take some shots, to loosen up. Kim and Kourtney seem to be comfortable with each other, I will say, since their problems, so that's good to see. And then they all get into the booth and they start recording. They do some parts just them by themselves. They do some together. Apparently, Kris had recorded Jingle Bells last year and it did pretty good. I didn't know that. But Kim then goes and sings by herself the song Santa Baby. And she kind of sounds like a drunk version of Marilyn Monroe. Just try to picture that. That's how she sounded. Kendall is refusing to sing, but she says that she apparently is the best singer in the family, and Kylie says the same thing. And then Kourtney, Corey, and Khloe sing a song, which is Christmas, Oh Baby Please Come Home, which, by the way, that's my personal favorite Christmas song. And Kourtney actually didn't do horrible. She's not bad. I just think that she needs to learn how to maneuver her voice, but she sounded pretty good. But the best thing about this was that they were just having so much fun as a family. So that was good to see. It is then the birthday party for Dream. I can't imagine having Kris Jenner as one grandmother and then Tokyo Toni as the other. I mean, that's crazy. But the little girl looked very happy. Khloe did a great job. And she says that she feels like the third mom, like she's a co-parent. She definitely seems like a great aunt, I will say that. And then a little bit later, Scott goes with Khloe inside a little house and says, wow, you're definitely the third parent. And she agrees. And I do feel like, don't get me wrong, Khloe is definitely, probably she is a third parent, but I just feel like every time they mentioned it, and in the way that they mentioned it, it kind of sounded like they were like really throwing shade at Angela. But we move on to Kourtney. It's a different day because in the episodes they have like 20 different scenes of so many different days, so it's kind of hard to keep up when I'm like reviewing it. But it's another day, and Kourtney is arriving to the late night show with James Corden because Travis is going to be performing at the show. And we see them hanging out in the dressing room, and she thanks him for helping with the Christmas songs, even though he has a very, very busy schedule and he's doing some projects of his own. And she says that she also wants him to teach her how to play the drums. And you know what? I hope that the overly intense chemistry that they have, I hope it doesn't run out, because that would be a shame. And then we see the performance that he did on the show. It was Travis playing the drums, and it was actually Avril Lavigne who was singing. And then in another scene, the entire family is together, and they're listening to some of the Christmas songs now that they've been like, auto-tuned and fixed and all of that. And they think that some of them are going to have to do some redos. Some of them are fine. And then after that, Kim says that she has an announcement to make. It's very important news, and she stands up. She says, you know what, I have to stand up. And she has all of them in this anticipation. And then she says, an executive from Disney called me to do The Bachelorette. And all of the family is, oh, no, that's not true. You can't do that. Kris, the mom, says, no. As your manager, you will never do that show. And then I was just like, why are they bashing The Bachelorette? Because if y'all know, in this channel, we cover all of Bachelor Nation. But none of them were believing her, so Kris had to call Rob, one of the executives at Disney, and confirm if that was true. And he said, yeah, that's true. So then her first question was, okay, so what's the budget? Of course she would ask that. And Rob is like convincing Kris that Kim should do it. And like Kris kind of looks like she's on board. She hangs up, but it was all a prank. And apparently the guy from Disney was in on it. That's why he answered the way he did. But that was definitely funny. I, for myself, actually believed it for like half a second. I think that when Kris made that phone call and he was confirming it, I was like, oh, wow. And then it got me thinking, what if Kim joined The Bachelorette? I mean, can you guys imagine that? First of all, the ratings would be through the roof. And no, that would be crazy. But that was it for this episode. Pretty good episode. Let me know what were your thoughts about this episode, and what do you think about them not mentioning... Well, they were mentioning... Every time they would talk about Blac Chyna, they wouldn't say her name or Angela or anything. They would just say Dream's mom. So what are y'all's opinion about that? Just let me know. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll catch y'all next time. You have a great one. Bye.